That's what I thought. I'm glad that I got that solved so I can get this stuff running faster again. Anyway, welcome in whenever everyone gets in. I was gonna go live earlier. I got sidetracked on just getting the photos ready for the pinnacles, and I set an alarm to go live at 1. Uh, how does this work? So you just ask me what you want your reading on. And with tarot, you get readings about like the connection between you and the soul, not what these online people are doing. But other than that, you just get the 2 cards. You don't have to donate. Donations are, appreciative, but this is a donation stream, so if you want to, you can. But the 2 cards are usually just free. You just ask. In general, I got you. How's my DJing? It went very well, and welcome in everyone. I'm doing very well. Had a very interesting meditation. One that I haven't had experience like that in a while. With the meditation I had, a very, very deep, delving into the self, a lot deeper than I've gone before. So that was fun to do. I got scared the first time. I did it 3 times actually, because during the meditation, and I'll get to the reading after this. Just I just kind of want to talk about this for a second. But like after the first dip in, I got scared, and then the second one, I began to get into it more. And then I was telling myself, you don't have to worry, your angels aren't gonna let you see anything or experience anything that you're not gonna like. And then I immediately just shot down. I'm pretty sure I ended up on a different timeline for a second, because when I opened my eyes, it was not like my vision. It was really blurred, like someone had just woke up. But it was this same area. I couldn't look to my left though, because the second I looked to my left, I snapped out of it. So I was somewhere for a minute. But I don't know. I did a lot of deep diving. I seen a lot of cool things. I experienced a lot of interesting things with the fabric of time and fractals, in that sense of how specific a timeline gets in that sense. I don't know. It was very weird, visualizing it. But then the third time, something happened. The third time, because I audibly heard something. I remember lifting my arms up and saying "Om," and I pointed at the window. I think it started storming or something, because it's just it's been raining ever since I got out of that meditation. It wasn't raining when I got in, but I don't know. There was a lot of cool things that happened in it, and I still haven't digested it all. But I went on a walk. How am I meditating? I meditate laying down. A lot of people sit up because we're tuning forks and it helps. I tend to lay down, but that's because I gyrate my gyrate. Is it gyrate? I position myself upright, my energetic field upright when I'm laying down. I tune in into my body, and then I instead of feeling like I'm laying down, I end up saying this is my actual standing up position. This is my new plane of existence. So instead of laying down, I end up standing up. But that's how I meditate. Sometimes I'll do this one I did was a guided meditation. I don't usually do those, but I felt like doing one. But I usually just lay down and focus on what's keeping me from this. Why does this thought keep popping up? Why do I feel this way? And just letting that go down. But yeah, it depends. Today, I didn't really go in with anything on the mind. I just kind of wanted to clear up and remove all stagnant energy or old thoughts or things. Usually, I'll do meditations on those to help release that from the nervous system, so that it's not on repeat within the body. Because a lot of the times, the things that you're doing when you're meditating is you're disconnecting from your brain, from your thoughts, I should say, not your brain, but so you can tune into your body and remove that stress from that nervous system, remove the stress from the parts of the body where your stress resides, just your shoulders, your back, your hips, your stomach, the soles of your feet, the palms of your hands, things of that nature. But it's about helping you remove. That's how I meditate, at least, is by releasing those sort of pains. Yeah, with huge intention. And if I get like a tingling on the body anywhere, I'll shift my focus to that point of the body because there's something in that area that needs attention. Obviously, it's sparking up for a reason. So like if my left pointer finger starts tingling, I'll shift my focus to my pointer finger because there's something here that's like needing attention in that meditative state. So that's kind of what I do. If there's like multiple senses, I pick on the one that's like the most not painful, but the most known, the most sensory, I guess. But yeah, I can get you, Pooh. Let me get Kitten first, and then I'll get you. Because I went off on a little tangent. But regardless, that's just kind of how I meditate. It's it's a lot different from like normal people, like not normal, but from like how everyone else talks about it. But I have a lot of success with it. I get more comfortable laying down than sitting up. I do sitting meditations too, but like only if I'm doing like mudras or something, right? If I'm not doing a mudra or something, or if I'm just simply doing like the sacral chakra one or the baby cradle or however, I'll just lay down and do that. But I can get you your general now. I'll get your general, and then uh, I'll get Pooh's, and then we'll move on. And talk about other things and do some other stuffs. But hopefully we're all doing well. Hopefully we're all having a really well day. Okay, so your first card, Kitten, is the Queen of Swords reverse. Right now there's not a thought that's being nurtured, and that's kind of causing things to be kind of out of balance in that sense. With the Queen of Swords upright, her head is like out of the clouds. That means that you're seeing above the thoughts that are holding feelings, but in reverse, you're kind of stuck within those feelings that those thoughts are like curating. So whatever situation you're in, it can definitely be caused by overthinking, but there's a need to decloud the vision. Focus less on the thought at hand, but more of the feeling that's fueling it. The feeling will give you the opposite than that thought, but if the thought's in control, it's going to give you more of what that thought's bringing. So for instance, if you're like, I have to like, I don't know, a really silly example, right? I have to walk my dog, but I can't find the leash. So you end up panicking because you can't find the leash. But that's that thought fueling that feeling. That feeling is, hey, let's go find that leash. But that thought is, I can't find it. So you then begin to panic, right? It becomes into what people call emotions, which is really just you moving off of a feeling, right? It's you emoting. But there's a thought form that's carrying a feeling, carrying some form of a feeling that's not helping. It's overriding. There's this thought that's making the feeling a slave to itself. And we have death right now. This might have to do with letting go of a certain aspect of self. Whatever this is a rebirth. And again with Scorpio, I feel like the Scorpio full moon has a lot to do with it. I mean, this is with death coming out as well. But with the zodiac just being of both of like Libra and a Scorpio, there's a lot of rebalancing within whatever this path is taking you down. There's a need to bring more peace into whatever you're doing. You might, and you said, keep trying to keep, the thoughts upright and everything, trying to stay positive within the car. Even here with like the horse, because I'm kind of getting this as well. The answer to this whole problem, to the situation, to this thought form, to like the holding back is kind of like the sensory aspect of it. There's a part of you that needs to lose the flesh, because if you even look at the skeleton, he has no flesh, he's all bone, but he has the armor on still. He's still protected by the armor on the white horse representing moving forward in a masculine nature, but then holding the flag of peace. It's the white lily flag, it's a sign of peace. So there's a need to be a lot more generous on yourself, being a lot more generous on the situation at hand. Something that I've been learning a lot about, especially with like egregores and things, because I've been seeing it more in action. I've been paying a lot more attention to kind of like how thought forms are and how they like control. and how they just like dictate and move. But there's a lot of when we are in these situations and we end up saying that we like hate the situation, or we end up saying something like crude about the situation that we're in, we end up forming that sort of connection with it. So now whenever that situation arises, it's only going to bring up that one feeling because that's all you've given it to like give back to you. Of course it's going to be hard to, it's going to be difficult at first, always. It's something that we have to adapt to over time, but definitely working on seeing both sides of it, understanding that yes, it is bad, but that doesn't mean it has to be the end. It doesn't just have to be one way. There's a whole other, a whole other plane that we can dive into on it. There could also be some endeavors that could be made, maybe some plans that you've had. Maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that, doing something with arts or crafts or something of that nature, doing something with internal skill, and seeing a new side of self could even be there as well. Regardless, there's these thoughts that are needing nurtured. And even if, and nurturing can just generally means even paying attention to it. So paying attention to the thoughts that you're having that are telling you, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, or this is bad and this is that, paying attention to those thoughts and being like, yeah, I understand this, but how are we going to move from this? Asking that question kind of to yourself shows your rational mind that it can't really solve it. And that leads a space open for that heart space for the divine to come in and go, okay, since you now know that you can't solve this part, not you personally, like the ego part you, but the rational minded part you that's focused on the external, the divine comes in and goes, okay, since Jack can't figure it out, here's what Jill suggests, right? And moving forward on that way. But that's what I'm getting for that, definitely. Regardless, though, with death being the solution, a rebirth is a solution. A birthing of something new is the solution. So regardless of what's happening, something new is going to be birthed. It's up to you to dictate whether that's going to be something that's going to benefit you or hold you back. And this is where that nurturing of the thought comes in. What is the fear of these that's pure, it's curating these thoughts? What's the feeling behind it? It doesn't have to be fear, whatever. What's the feeling curating these thoughts? And then nurturing that. Oh, I don't have this, so let me get creative. What can I do to get that? That would allow me to, enjoy that time. What can I spend my time enjoying doing? Excuse me, I can't fucking speak. But how can I spend my energy? Better, energy management or whatever. I can't speak right now. I don't know why I can't get that sentence out. But I'm gonna have to move on, I guess, because I can't be speaking. But regardless, that is the advice I have for you on that. And Pooh, I can get you right now. You play basketball a lot? That's cool. Um, you could if you play basketball a lot, if there's like a public court somewhere near you, you could ask like your town hall if you could run like a tiny fundraiser and do like a basketball event and have people sign up, have like a $5 like ticket thing, and people come in and make teams and shit, have like a mini tournament or something as well. Doing something like that could definitely be a benefit. You know what I mean? Like it's about kind of thinking outside that box, using what you know that you love to do, and seeing it as a point to not only benefit others but also give yourself that benefit as well. And taking it as far as it needs to go in that sense. But doing something like that could definitely be of interest. I don't know if how if that costs money or not. Of course, I've never done anything like that, but I'm pretty sure you could, if it does cost anything, you could work out like at the end result, like you make like a split payment where like they get whatever amount and then you get whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's that fear. Let that fear be the motivator, though. That fear is coming from, oh, what if it doesn't work? Yeah, but what if it does? Like, even if it doesn't work, right? Now that's freed up so much more space for a new idea to come in. Now it's like, okay, that doesn't work. Boom, here's a new one, because you've been holding on to that one for so long that we haven't been able to give you anything new. Something like that could definitely, be something. And even if you can't do something like that, even, just asking, thinking about those ideas, and just seeing how you can like move things around in that sort of nature. But let's get you poo real quick. What did you want? Let me scroll up actually before I ask you again. I can literally just guidance got you. I could literally just scroll up. I got the laptop running today. I got you. No worries. Guidance for coming months. I can't give for. I can't do future. Tarot does not do future. It only does what you need now, because the future is determined on what you do now. So you can't really get a future reading, because if you're not doing the steps that you need to do now, it's not gonna matter what I say for the future. It's all about what's happening currently. The mind, the rational mind, and the ego want to focus on the future, because that's the when and the how, instead of focusing on the why, the complete reason of why you're doing it, the purpose for why you're wanting to be prepared for that future. What are you feeling like you're lacking now that's keeping you from being prepared in that future? You know. Because giving yourself that time limit, now you're gonna now the rational mind is gonna grasp onto that. Now it's gonna be conditioned to be like, okay, so in the 3 months these things should be happening, and if they don't happen, now that's gonna cause a whole discombobulation within your whole system that you've built up to say it's gonna be this, which is a huge issue with tarot reading today. People want to tell it like the future. That doesn't matter. You could stub your toe, and your whole future changes. You could literally blink 1 millisecond early, and the whole future changes. It's quantum physics. It's quantum mechanics. You can never read the future. It's impossible. You can only read what's happening now, because right now dictates what's happening in the future. So I can't really do guidance for months. Welcome in, Stephen. Welcome in. I can do, guidance for today then, or just general guidance. Yeah, I got you. I'm just, I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my mission. We gotta make sure that people are getting the right stuff, because I'm not feeding into this whole like ego trap that these other readers do. Exactly. Like it's really like it's difficult to like do that. And even then, like that's why you can't really steal someone's destiny, because you don't even know if that person's walking on their path to destiny. It might look like destiny in someone's eyes. That could literally be someone's fate. And then you end up stealing their fate, so you end up taking their shitty life. Like, what the fuck's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all don't know what you're doing. Y'all just think you can cast a spell and shit. Y'all don't know. Y'all learned things from your ancestors who told shit like that and wives' tales to keep everyone ignorant and blind so no one could know the truth. I hope everyone's catching on to that. And everyone should at least be catching on to that here soon. Within this next year, dude. I hope people start catching on that your ancestors, your great great grandma lied to everyone in your whole ass family to keep some dark shit hidden. They ain't tell you shit. They ain't tell you nothing. They told you a bunch of lies and to keep you a little blind, because they didn't want you to know what was going on. They were handling it behind the scenes. And that's the big issue with a lot of people, though. They don't want to like accept that, but it's like it's a thing. Like there's someone in someone's family that I was told this Saturday actually. One of my friends walked up to me and we were talking, and he goes, like, have you ever thought about like someone's fourth generation, like grandma, saying that they met Bonnie and Clyde, and then that's just gone down to generations for now kids today are saying that their grandparents met Bonnie and Clyde? And I'm like, yeah. And it clicked with me, because it's like, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. My grandma said that they did it. Well, grandma probably lied to you then. How do you know that's true? How do you know? You have to go back to the beginning. When was the ancestry started to get, constricted? Because it wasn't, African, like, people who, like, want to claim that they're 1000% black. You got some European in you. You don't know. Your great-great-great-great-grandma could have slept with a European. You don't even know. Exactly, Daniel. They had to. It's like it's a thing. It's not even to like, to be mean. It's literally like it was for protection, it's for safety. You literally had to. It had to be lied about. It had to be passed down to people who were like keep the mouth shut and keep it stuff under tables. Only select people would know. And then everyone else would get the rest of it. They would get the, oh, you can just do this and like half-ass it. They wouldn't tell the truth of it because not everyone could handle that responsibility of that power. Hope. But anyway, let me get to your reading, Pooh. My bad. I'm getting off track. I get off track so much. It happens here. See, that's the thing. If I had a family member say don't look into your family tree, I would have done it. Like my mom was like, if you want to know about your family, just let me know. And I was like, okay, I want to know. And she like went to her room and brought out like a bunch of documents and files from a cabinet that was just in the room like forever that I didn't know about. And said, here it is. Here's literally everything you need to know. Have fun. And I just went to my room and read all of it. Every single documentation from the adoption, from like birth records all the way like ancestry to like how far the back they knew. It was a lot of shit. It was really cool. Why are these cards coming up? So anyway, with Pooh right now we have death reverse. So right now there's a rebirth that's not taking place. There's a changing of self that hasn't quite happened yet. There's a bit of a struggle. This might be I don't want to say that it's going to be something to take a leap because with death and everything, just about change. Like there's not a change. There's something about you needing like the fleshly protection or like the physical protection that's keeping you from stepping out from stepping forward into new lands. It it does feel like there's a bit of curiosity though but that curiosity does tend to flip to some form of fear in that regard. But you need to purify. There's the need to purify yourself, cleansing. Whether that's cleansing the energy around you or grounding yourself, doing mudras to help you, like clear out your energy, frequencies, candles, whatever you have to do. But just clearing up some form of like fear, some form of like old beliefs, some form of just old stagnant behavior that's kind of keeping you held back. And then we have Emperor with Aries energy because there is a flame. There is something here like that you desire to go for because Scorpio and Aries are your two signs. But again, with the Emperor upright, it's like whatever you're desiring to start, whatever plans you're wanting to truly like kickstart and have that flame for, you already have that flame there. It's this security that you're afraid of moving forward with, which is completely understandable because it's Aries, it's the Emperor, it's Aries. Even though the Emperor is sitting up there fully, the sign is still Aries. It's the beginning sign. It's the cardinal. It's what's keeping you from moving forward with that flame. That flame isn't fully stable yet. It can't move. It can't, it has a chance of dying out, it has a chance of not dying out. It has to be some form of fear. The only thing that would really stop you from moving forward would be a fear, unless it's just a procrastination, which would still go down to some form of fear. Financial security, yeah, that comes from a fear of not being financially secure. So it's rooted in a fear. That's what you have to understand. Fear is not, these feelings that we have aren't as straightforward and verbatim as we think. They are very wide. These outcomes, these things that we end up experiencing on the external, like seeing things on the physical, those are derivatives that kick in more of that fear. And it's seeing that because it's that worry, even if it's a little bit of worry, like I don't know if I'm gonna have this, that's still coming from a place of fear. That worry and fear, it's just fear being the overarching like name, the title for the scale that you're on, of whether that fear is moving you forward or keeping you back. Where it's not just a single thing. There's always multiple feelings going in. But this flame is there. There is a ruling there. There is a balanced principle that you will be moving forward with both the masculine and the feminine, the rod and the orb both being there, moving forward with the feminine. But there needs to be this purification, this release like whatever's holding you back from it, the lack of belief in self, however this is, the sacral chakra with self-confidence, maybe a solar plexus chakra even as well, to help, you know, try to bring some life into it, whatever the practice you need to do is, it's going to help you move forward in that sense. But you need to know that the goal that you're desiring to have is going to be something that's going to be stable. You know it is. It's something that you have in mind. It's something that like lights you up internally. But you're needing to make that change. You need to take that leap. There's part of you that needs to go through that rebirth, that new seeing of things, the new eye opening to the situation, or you know, to the project, I should say. That's going to allow you to move forward with it actually. But that's the Scorpio part of it, is just really being that phoenix in that moment and going forth with it. You might already, you know, be done with this rebirth. You might just be, you know, as I would say, playing in the ashes or rolling around in the ashes as the phoenix, kind of just like going around saying, do I need this? Do I need that? You know what I mean? Like making sure that your full rebirth is complete or whatever, you know, just, you know, micromanaging things. But that's not what you're needing to do at this point. You're needing to see the picture, the grand goal, and take those steps there. Let the divine behind you micromanage. So moving forward like that is definitely going to help. What purification and how, it depends. It depends on where this is coming from. Like if this is a you know, if this is a creative blockage, then definitely sacral. If this is a fear of expression, throat chakra. If this is a fear of a lot of this not sparking up and you not having the energy to do it, solar plexus. If this is a fear of just not it being stable or something that's going to, you know, be beneficial to you, root chakra. If it's something that you are struggling to express love with, or have a hard time expressing how you love this business, heart chakra. If you're having a hard time seeing how to get to the plan, third eye. If you're having a hard time getting the plan, crown. You know, there's mudras and all sorts of things you can do with it. It all depends on how you're desiring to move down with it, you know, what you're comfortable with. There's millions of options. It's just up to you and how you desire to move forward with it. You know, you can do prayers or whatever. You can talk to mother and be like, you know, don't ask mother for anything. Just, you know, ask mother, you know, just tell mother, hey, I'm doing these and I'm feeling this way about it, and let her know that. You know, talking to your angels, you know, however, there's millions of ways of doing it. It's just truly dependent on how you align with it and how you're desiring to move forward with it. Hypnosis is interesting. I haven't done any hypnotist stuff, um, but I've done a lot of meditation work. No worries, Pooh, I got you. I got you. It's what I'm here to do. I I enjoy helping people. It's not your thoughts that manifest reality. It's your feelings that manifest the reality. Your thoughts don't do nothing unless you give your thoughts permission to. Your thoughts are just a byproduct. That's all. They're secondary. They're not primary. There's a whole system of things that happens before that thought's even thought of. Before that thought's even recognized as a thought internally, there's a whole process that happens. It's not your thoughts. People haven't gone deep enough yet. That's why every type of manifestation video you watch, they're like, oh, your thoughts do this, your thoughts do that. They say the same shit because they haven't dug that deep yet. They don't understand what feelings are. They still say emotions because they're focused on outward stuff. They don't even worry about the inward. They say, oh, just do meditations. Here's my God who I talk to, and here's my spiritual practices. Okay, who cares? Are you going to teach them how to manifest or not? You're teaching them how to use their imagination. That's one thing. That's with this and that. What about the heart space? Are you going to teach them how to like feel? How to actually get into the feeling? There's some that do teach that, obviously. There are some that do teach how to feel. But there's not enough people explaining how to allow yourself to feel and what feelings are to really allow people to grasp it, because not one person just can't talk about it and then everyone grasp it. That's impossible. You know, multiple people have to be talking about it because multiple people have different ways of explaining it and different levels of explaining it, you know, which is good. We need that. Um, but more people need to be talking about that feeling aspect, because it goes from the idea. The idea isn't even anything that we have. The idea is the fact that we can exist. The idea is I see something. The fact that I even see something is an idea. How do I know that I'm seeing it? Because I'm agreeing to whatever is going on with this transaction, with the vibrations and the light, that I'm seeing something. Internally, I have to be agreeing to it in some degree. Nothing can happen disagreed upon. There has to be an agreement. Always. Sometimes people, you know, they'll take the route where they shut off their brain and they won't realize that they have a subconscious and they don't realize they have feelings. You just, you know, bull through life, and that might work for some people, but for those that are actually meant to dive deep, it's a little bit different, because we really have to like understand what we're dealing with. And regardless, every individual on earth has the same process. It's just a matter of like if they're doing it in this body or another one, because it's an eternity, you know. Exactly, Daniel. I really would not be surprised if the audio was fucked up, because every time I come on in stream, something weird happens. They just don't like me no more. It is a little damn. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know. There's nothing like on my end at all that would be causing that. I would have to like shut down the stream and restart it. Damn, that is doing it. I hear it now. It's so bizarre. They just want me talking. They don't want me talking. Yeah, I hear what you mean, because I unmuted my tab. It is crunchy. I don't know why. It's, like, it's not, dude, that one day, it was really bad, like, one day. It was super bad one day. I had to, like, close out the stream and restart it. Um, dude, I can't do nothing. Like, I'll use my mic. Have you noticed, like, my mic audio, when I'm using, like, my laptop for recording? Where are they at? They're, like, over here somewhere. When I use like these things, like the audio on these change too. And I don't change anything on my OBS setting. I keep everything the same. But I noticed uploading it, it's like different audio. It's so weird. I'm glad the audio is clear on your end. That's crazy. Mic volume? I can't turn down. There is no mic volume. This is my phone. I can't do that. There's nothing I can do. Oh, I've already cleansed the energy. Trust me on that. I got barriers to top of barriers up here. I just have people that don't like me speaking truth. And I had some Instagram witch doing something as well behind the scenes, which is not really working out. I don't know why the fuck she's even trying. But we got a lot of stuff. I wouldn't even know where my bell would be. I have a bell, I just don't know where it would be. Well, I mean, I have these, but this isn't really a bell. Yeah, I can't change anything about this, unfortunately. If I had if I was able to stream on this laptop, I would. I can't. It has a really shitty Wi-Fi card and it just the camera is just ass. I have the mic that would help with that, but I don't have like an actual good camera for the laptop. So it's I don't know. We're doing with what we got. We are doing with what we got. That used to like really bother me though. I seeing all people commenting like the audio issues, but it's like, what do you want me to do? I'm literally like, this is literally all I have. Until I find a place to go, this is all I have because literally all of my other equipment is at a friend's house, and it's been there for a solid year, which is good because I held on to one of my other friend's stuff for like for the whole like 2 years that I was moving around. I held on to my friend's like audio collection and all sorts of stuff. So I'm glad that that favor is being repaid for me. Yeah, we might need to get like a wallet evil eyes up here and stuff. I usually keep like a sigil, an angel sigil in the background. That's why I'm always like clicking around. I'm always looking at the angel sigils that I can have up in the background and stuff. What I need to do is make a seal. I'm gonna make a seal is what I'm gonna do. And that seal is gonna be my fucking it's gonna be attached to this. I'm gonna have to replace the sigil here. Because even though I've been cleansing the sigil watermark that I have there, I need a seal. That sigil's not working. It's like a 2 years old. It's like a year old now. So and it was also made like in the old way that I made sigils. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be updated with that. But I do cleanse it and refresh it a lot. I do my best to. But yeah, I am very, very excited. Um, for the future. But yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say something, but I guess it flew out of my mind. So never mind. I was gonna say something completely different, but it flew right out of my mind. Um, let me see. Nah, it's not changing this message. Wait a minute. I think the audio is fixed on my end at least. No, like I don't. I mean, my phone's good. Like there's nothing in it. Like everything is fine. Cause like I talk to people all the time. Like this just happens. It's not like my phone's issue. Because it is raining, so that could be it too. You know, it's not my phone though. I would have known if it was my phone because it's like I would have got complained at yesterday. I was talking all night long with my friends. They're like, dude, if that was an issue, I would have known. Yeah, sometimes doing that helps. It refreshing and things can usually help with that. It could also just be the moon as well. We are in a very, very powerful Scorpio flower moon. Super fucking powerful. It's been moonbowing like crazy the past few days. So it could be that, especially with all the rain over here. You know, there's a lot. There'd be a lot of reasons. Yeah, I was moon gazing on Saturday. It was I didn't get the moon gaze last night. I ended up just relaxing and hanging out with friends. But tonight I'm probably gonna moon gaze. Maybe. I haven't seen anything about the Schumann resonance today. So I don't know. There's one person I follow on Facebook. I don't see any of her posts anymore because Facebook's done shadow banned her. But she gives crazy good updates on the Schumann resonance and gives like a whole chart on how to read them and stuff. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday were crazy good for observing. Tonight's gonna be crazy though. You know what? Holy shit. That's so funny that I got reminded about that. If I can remember where it's at. There it is. Here it is. I found it. Jesus Christ. If I can, like, I hate that I can't, like, see through my phone and have to, like, pop things out. I need to, okay, you see move to the left. I need to just read what this says. I can't. Okay, so hold on. Let me do that, and then download these two things. I forgot all about these until today. That's so hilarious. And now I just get to do that tonight. Okay, well, thanks, computer. I same. Like, if I can just lay on my back in the middle of Egypt and just stargaze, I'll be fine. I think I'll be happy. How's everything going for me? It's going well. It's going well. I'm a little I'm trying not to plan something because I know it's just it's unplannable. So I've been like fighting my mind back and forth, like not allowing it to go down a rabbit hole and say we could do all these things and have them not work. But other than that, it's been interesting. Cause I mean, like, hold on. That wouldn't work. I mean, that's not gonna work either. See, again, like that's just the mind. The second I think about it, that's the millisecond I go, I have to worry about it. Let me go try and solve it. No, it's not. It cannot be solved by anything that I can think of. It is going to literally just be a miracle that has to come through for me to get this to work. So, I just owe my friend like $20 because they gave me an Uber to get to the show, and I spent literally all fucking of my overcharge, which is fucking $40, and I have only $40 to like put on the account. So it's a bunch of fucking hoops I gotta jump through, but I'm not worried about it. I know things are gonna move through and happen. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like they're not stressing about it. We've already talked about it. I'm not stressed about it. My mind is just trying to get me to go back to those old cycles that I just do not give a fuck about. I cannot be asked. I don't care. I cannot be bothered enough to care about what my fucking rational mind has to say right now, like at all. I do not like Jack right now. I wish Jack would be like Humpty Dumpty and fall off, so I can just be with Jill. I'm tired of Jack right now. It's pissing me off. Well, that's just the daily. That's just the daily battle, you know. Not even just person, just everyone, and battling those internal thoughts. Yeah, see, that's kind of what's happening with me too. I'm not really called to do much right now. I'm just kind of like going to relax, like, and just like meditate and get stuff in order. But at the same time, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just letting things happen. Exactly. That's what I've been doing. I've been letting little buddy just run around in circles. It's literally the episode of SpongeBob where like you go into his brain and then all the cabinet files are on fire. That's what's going on right here, and I'm just like letting it happen. It's whatever. Like it's not causing any sort of feeling. It's just like, yep, like it's there. That is my mmm. Okay, I see now. I got my sign for what it is. It's trust. It's a trust exercise. I got it. My my left big toe was got a really sharp pain right after I said that. So I looked up like what chakra is connected with the left toe, and it's technically called the earth toe, and that's the the relation with their internal spirit and present self. So that's just what I'm working with apparently. So that's fun. I genuinely feel like that right now. I've been in a very Gemini mood, but not like together, but just like I see like how they operate, and I'm like consciously choosing peace at this point in time, rather than like stress, which is really fun. Um, but it's also like difficult because I really have to like put in effort. Because I mean, you have to put in effort for everything. It's just the old ways of me putting an effort to just to push those thoughts down don't work. So I'm more diving deeper into myself and seeing, so what do I need to do to to move forward with that. But it's fun, it's part of the journey. Let me put these here before I forget about them, and I'm gonna have to draw these too. I'll just do that tonight. I mean, other than that, I've been fine. See, that's the thing. I don't even know like how what to. My only plan that I have is just to walk. That's the my plans right now is to wait, and if waiting ends up not doing well, walk. That those are my plans. There's literally nothing else in my power that I can do other than those two things. But definitely, this moon is something different. This moon is very, very different. Cause like the the meditation that I had was like was almost the same as the one that I had 2 years ago, or was it like a year and a half ago? It might have been 2.5 years ago. It was the same. It reminded me of the first like major meditation that I did that led to like a crazy like breakthrough. But this one didn't give me like any form of like location. It just gave me like shifting. So I guess I don't know. Like I mean I know, right? But I haven't like fully digested what it means, right? But I got it. You know what I mean? Like I get the gist of it. I just don't have the physical of it, or like a more tangible version of it. I don't know how to explain to you that I that I flew into the sun, and that I zoomed in so far into the sun that I ended up seeing another version of myself and plopped in my bed. Like I don't know how else to explain it other than that. And seeing the sun fractalize into other suns, and going down into one direct area, and then just popping right here, and then popping like out of that body after experimenting and being in that realm for a while. Because I opened my eyes and I seen the meditation I was doing. I seen the TV in front of me. I had everything, like everything was there. I was touching things. It was tangible. It was the second that I turned to the left, like tried to look behind me, that I ended up going like zoning back out, and entering the trance state of the meditation that I was doing, that I was in. I mean, yeah, like that's all I can describe. Is it was like I I basically just like like my third eye like basically was pulsating like crazy. I zoomed into my third eye, and that led to like a whole photo of my face being there. I zoomed in on my forehead to where my third eye was. It went all the way down. It went to a sun, and like I seen the sun. I went to the sun. After I went to the sun, it went all the way down until it went like complete orange and pixelated. And then I went into one tiny pixel and then popped up, and then instantly zooted back out. Like that's and like it was a whole thing. It was very, very interesting. It was really fun, because after the meditation was over, like after I after it was completed, it was still that same feeling that I had throughout the whole meditation. I still feel it too. So something definitely did its thing. I took a walk. Even it was like kind of drizzling, so I took a walk for a while outside as well, just to kind of like you know help move the energy around, clean things up. So that was fun to do. But I feel like I'm gonna have like crazy dreams, or just see something. Yeah, like I just feel like fine. Like I don't really get the stress anymore. Um like I understand that the danger around, but there's no like chest feeling. Like there's when you get any sort of feeling how it comes from like that chest area. I don't get that anymore. I'm not getting that. All I'm getting is like chills going down, which is what I get whenever it's like, whenever it's spirits around, or whenever it's like a time for soothing, or when my nervous system ends up like resetting and stuff. Like I'm not getting that panic anymore. I'm just getting like a reset every time. So whatever's happening, I'm down for it. Like I was like, look, I don't know what to do. I just need to meditate though, because I just haven't done it in a while. I haven't meditated in like a week, or 2 weeks, I should say, which is not good. Like, and I mean like actual meditation. I don't mean like my typical thinking out loud type shit. I mean like going deep within. I haven't done that in a while. So I definitely got all I needed to get within that time period. And it was very fun. But it was only like 40 minutes. It was like 48 minutes. And for once, I didn't fall asleep either, which was probably why I got to go so much deeper. Because I usually get to a certain point and then end up falling asleep because I exhaust myself. Um, but I definitely I got to a new point, so that was cool. Because I realized that I was having a moment that felt like a dream, but I knew it wasn't, because it was like, no, this isn't really like a dream. This is like me like cleansing myself. I was in my old house like taking a shower, and I was like, I'm not like asleep though, because it's like I could I could still see and sense like my physical body like externally. Like I knew there was a source outside of me still, and I was like, wait, I'm not asleep. Like I'm very aware and conscious right now. Like I'm not. It was a super interesting thing. So after I realized that, I started diving deeper though. But I was like, okay, so if I'm not asleep and I'm not dreaming, let me just fucking let me just get back to business. Because I thought I did for a second. Um, I went through all the chakras and like cleansed them. Um, so it was really fun. I'm just happy I had a fun experience like that. I'm just glad I didn't fall asleep either, because I don't know. I kind of want to go back and do more like meditations of that nature and focus in on that, because I know there's more that I need to see in that sense. It was just more of like a trial run, because I was definitely getting senses of fear. You can kind of feel that whenever you're like astral traveling, or like meditating in that sense. However, you can really feel it. It feels like it's dragging you down. Um, and now it's just like that fear. So I immediately knew like what was going on after that. That was good. It's always like, if you're gonna like dive deep, or astral travel, or whatever, always just remind yourself, like, if you're diving deep within yourself and just doing that meditation, your angels are not gonna let you see anything that you don't need to see. Like you're gonna be protected. You're gonna see the things that you need to see. You might not understand them, but it's not gonna be anything that's gonna like explode you. You know what I mean? Um, and just keeping that reassurance and going full force in allows so much more to happen, which is, it takes practice. It really does. If that meditation I did was not 40 minutes long, I would have probably popped out after that first time and not done it again. But it was still going on, so I was like, no, I gotta log back in. I gotta log back in. But I figured out how to do it on purpose, because I used to do it. I used to do it consciously, um, but I couldn't do it normally. It was during, well, awake. Well, not meditation, I say. I would do it during my shamanic trials, when I was going through like I was going on shrooms and stuff, and learning about my body in that sense, and going down the shamanic route in that sort of way. Like 2 years ago, or like a year and a half ago ish, kind of. Um, and that was fun, doing it that way. But I guess I just learned how to do it without that force, which is really good. I needed to, because it was kind of hard to like project that out in that sense. But it's very interesting. Oh, see, that's the thing. Like we are when we tap into that heart space fully, and we allow ourselves to not be like split in between, because that's what we are in flesh, is we're literally split between, you know, divine and beast, you know, the rational mind working off its animalistic actions, and the divine from the heart space, right? We're literally split between. When we get into those meditative, you know, eras, we can actually hone in on what we want to focus on. Usually when we're stuck here, we're more focused on on the mind than the heart. So if we dive in ourselves, we can literally have our feelings, you know, fuel our thoughts, and those thoughts will have no one to argue with. They won't have anyone to talk to. It can't talk to itself. You're with the divine, with your with Jill. You're already with Mother and Jill, so you don't need Jack or your mind barking at you for stuff. It's just it can't talk to itself. You can't talk to yourself. You're listening to yourself, because another part of you is going to be able to respond to you. That's why you say things like, I don't think I should have said that, or I don't like the way I said that, because it's not, because you got someone else in you saying you shouldn't have said that. I don't like the way you said that. You know? So it's really cool. But like, I don't know, the world we live in. Oh yeah, no. See, that's the thing. When you work from the heart space, you don't have to ask for anything. The mother doesn't give you anything. Like you don't ask the heart space or mother for anything at all. It just gives you what you need. A lot of people what was that notification? Hold on. Oh, okay, never mind. I was confused. Someone sent me a message a while ago, and I had to go check it. I wanted to make sure it wasn't important. I'm on a weird thing. I'm teaching like people all sorts of shit right now. I'm kind of just being weird. But yeah, anyway, when you connect with Mother, don't ask her for anything, and that's like the whole thing. Like whenever I talk to Mother, like always, like I don't know. Let me like breathe, so I can talk. Let me do that first, because I'm not working properly right now. Obviously, I'm running off of something else. um. So anyway, when I talk with Mother, I don't ask her for anything. I just give her updates. Like even if my update is I don't like right now, like I'm really scared right now, I don't like this, I update her, because the whole point is just to get that nurturing, you know. A lot of people say speak to the Father, you know, give your you know your baggage to your angels and and the Father and stuff, but give it to Mother. What the hell is the masculine energy gonna do to nurture you? Nothing. It's like, you know, oh, I'm sorry that like I broke your arm, but here's like a $25 gift card to Garden. Like that's what the masculine's gonna do. The feminine's gonna be the one to go, okay, let's like go into the hospital, let's get the bone x-rayed, let's go get that whole thing fixed up. That's the feminine aspect. The masculine aspect's the physical things. So when you even like ask, you know, when you like, oh, you know, I'm feeling this way about those things. When you tell the physical reality that, it's going to mirror that shit right back to you. It's like, okay, you want this, you feel like that, we got you. Talk to the mother. No, for real, man. I've been I love Olive Garden, man. I fucking love Olive Garden. Oh my god. I would I would break my arm. No, I would not. Stop. That's a Klondike joke. What would you do for a Klondike bar type shit? You know what I mean? But no, Olive Garden's good. It's not like that good, but I just haven't had it in a minute, and I'm always craving Italian food for some reason. It's always just been a thing because my dad. I think I'm gonna blame it on my dad. He would always just make pasta or like Italian foods in general. He would also try and mimic to speak Italian. He was weird. He's a really funny dude. But yeah, when that's like a whole like religion thing where like if you aren't submitting to their doctrine of how they describe their being of God, you know, and also just working off the polarities of masculine and feminine and everything. But I don't know, we're all caught up to that point over here. Most of us is, or at least digesting it. We're walking with it. Um, I haven't been told to move forward from like speaking on that stuff fully yet. But here soon we'll be talking a lot deeper on it. Yeah, see, that's same thing here, Daniel. That's the thing though. Um, Even if we do it out of like the rational mind instead of like anger and hate, we still do it out of like an act of love. We learn something new, and it's like fuck, like I want to share this with people, and it's not like we want people to feel wrong. It's just like, hey, like look at this way. It's like I don't want to, and things of that nature. And but I get that. It's just part of growing. It's that literal inner child part of you that's like, hey, I want to tell everyone this, but not everyone's gonna agree or like it. It's literally me with the tarot stuff. Like that's why I'm gauging myself on it. I'm learning from myself to see how I can move with this. I'm learning from your all's responses. People that are constantly in here to people that pop in here for a while and stuff. I'm learning from it. I have to. Because it's like, am I like, I'm putting my foot on the pedal, obviously, but am I doing it in a way that's like helping people, or am I belittling people? Like, am I giving the right examples and things like that? Like, because, it's important to, because I don't want to like be over jarring, but at the same time, like, it is something that's super passionate. Like it's again, it's that calling. It's like I have to speak on it. I have to make it direct. It needs to have some form of solidity. Whether you agree with you wanting to keep it in that solid form or not, there needs to be a root. We have the whole tree, but we don't know where the root is. And truly, if we're gonna talk about it, tarot in itself was existing way before time existed. um Tarot is the functions of life. That's all it is. Look at I mean shit, like the Scottish Rite kind of know that. The 33s know that. The Kabbalists know that. That's why they have the tree of life for everything, the Egyptian tree of life. All these trees of life and how they relate to the cards is because that's what we use. That's what's telling us how to live life. Um it's really a system. If you look at the cross of tarot, it goes Taro, and then it goes T again at the top. It's a quintessential cycle. It goes to fire, water, air, earth, back to fire. It goes from being planted in the ground to being brought back to life again. From doing something on the physical to a new idea being brought to you. Completion to a new beginning. That's why the other T comes up there. It starts again. Tarot. Tarot. It's genuinely that way. That's why it's there. That's the cycle that we're in. And that has breakdowns within different regimens. Like the Kabbalists break it down. I think it's with I think it's with IS something. The Masonics and the Kabbalists break it down differently. But they say the same shit. They're just, you know what I mean. They just want to be diverse. They want to be separated. Um. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The original Tree of Life had 10. Um. That was the Egyptian. The Egyptian Tree of Life, excuse me, has 10, but the Kabbalists added more. Um. and that's based off of their studies, right? It still means the same. It's just like extra steps. It's dependent, right? But it all equals the same thing. It's literally just, you know, whose brotherhood are you part of, basically, when it comes down to that specific stuff, like when they were like discovering it and writing it out. But it's all the same. Like those extra steps, like the 42 laws of Ma'at being broken down to the 10 commandments, being broken down to the fucking golden rule, right? Well, the golden rule existing with the 42 laws of Ma'at, basically, right? Um, but it's you know, we end up breaking things down, but that's what, you know, that's just westernized culture. And if you can overstand it, perfect. But most people get really confused with westernized explanations because it doesn't really tell you much. Well, I mean, it tells you a lot if you can read it, but you have to speak that language. You know, you have to read the symbology. You have to know what they're trying to hint at. You know, same thing like with the Masonic symbol, why people, you know, with the G being capitalized, 9 degrees, the compass and everything. It's showing you everything that they're trying to, you know, what they're building. They're showing you what they teach you in that, but you have to learn how to read the language. But it's all the same, like, despite what anyone wants to say. It's just, you know, if we can remember the root, there it will be so much better. Like, I don't know. The root for anything, really, because it's ancestry. But I haven't, you know, it's a very interesting path I've had, because it's like, even though I've kind of walked this spiritual-esque path, I've been more like into the occult, which is fine, but it's just so weird. I don't know. I can't like label what I what I've walked. It's not like a left-handed path. It's not a right-handed. I don't know what it is. I'm not squared. Um, like, I don't know. Because it's like, not even, because again, like, occult just means secret, you know. The word occult has been demonized, literally demonized. Um, Same thing with the word cult, because a cult is just like a school. A school is a cult. It's a place where people go and learn. A church is a cult. It, there's no bad thing about a cult. It's just it's just the people in the cult that make it that way. It's a whole thing. I love words. Like, I just do. It's so funny what we do to words and how we mess it up. Why did that light just flicker on and off like that? I don't know why you need to do that right now. I'm just gonna call that out. I don't need to see that happen again. And welcome in, welcome in. Oh wow. You responded to my message after my show when I invited you to it and told you get in for free. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I do this thing with like my local friends or people that like talk to me a little bit. Like, if they ever like are around and pop up and I have a show, I always get them in for free. Because that's the thing. We have a that's the thing. At least with our little group, we have like a secret guest list kind of thing. We can. So I sometimes, if I had anyone, I usually did. I got one of my friends in for free. I got I don't think I've talked to you all about her, but her name's Erica. She was really cool. But I brought her to one of them. Back to Sacred Heart. But yeah, I don't know. There's so much, like, there's more I want to talk about tarot with, but I want to like talk about it with my mentor first so I don't like missay something. Because there's something that I'm wanting to say about it. And I can talk about it down like a little bit, but I have to stop whenever it starts getting good. But my whole like He even confirmed it, so I'm glad that he did. But the whole thing that I'm doing in Obsidian, connecting every like tarot card together because they're literally all connected, like I'm doing it, like I'm on the right path of it. Because like the tarot, like the suits themselves have a specific order they go in as well. Like the suit of cups has their own specific like layout. The cups have their own layout. The wands, every one of them has their specific layout for all the cards. And then the major arcana tell their own thing with their own story set out like that. And then all together, like, dude, you're literally reading like multiple fucking stories. Like this is a 72-page book, but it's telling everything that can happen in life. But not from the external, from the internal, from like how we are gauged, you know, from all the symbology and everything. The bird, I mean, shit, dude, I don't know. It's just crazy. This stuff is just wild. But I broke down the cups. The cups are the ones that I broke down first, because whenever I did the tarot classes with them, the cups were the first thing that we broke down. We did not begin with the wands because the wands, he didn't know if I would overstand the wands at first, which is perfectly fine. You never know, because the wand is like a difficult thing to talk about when you don't really have any experience learning about like what pyre is, or knowing what ideas are, or you know, even accepting the fact that you don't have an idea, that that you're faced with them, and then that idea generates a feeling, right? We had to go through all of that stuff, and that was, you know, we went through it pretty quickly, but it can be lengthy if you're not careful. But I got the cups down to like, I think I got it explained down to like the 9 of cups and how they all operate together. Because I mean, let me just get like the 1 through like 5 out. Let me get 1 through. I can't just get one out without getting all of them out. Is actually, so let me just get 1 through 10, and I can just run through and show you like what I mean. How every one of the cups is always there, and it's showing you like literally the order of like where it comes from. You'll see it. It goes feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine. It really does. It's all within the card. Sometimes it goes feminine, masculine within the card itself, and the next stage is it leads to like the next feminine or the next masculine. Dude, it's just, man, like I wish people were at that, like Red Tarot was this into it as like some people, as like me and the ones of the school are, because holy shit, man. Like if you want to talk about, you know, paying attention to details and using your intuition and getting true intuitive knowledge and seeing things that only like those who have eyes can see, and you know, that direct connection with God, you won't have that until you start studying things. So fucking study these cards. Even if you don't know what you're trying to study for the card, just look at them. Just look at them. You'll get the feeling from them. You'll be like, you know what? I felt like this during this time in my life, or I was doing this around this time in my life, or I felt, you know, it's these things. Because you hear people say this is like a 7 of Cups moment. Yeah, because we all have them. It's there to show you literally like, hey, this is what's going on. It's not like a gag or something. It's true. But people don't look into it that much. It's like entertainment, and like sure, but like damn. That entertainment has so much more beneath it, man. It's like the Tom and Jerry shit, bro. Ain't no one my age, well, probably was. I just didn't know of them, or they weren't around me. But no one around me fucking at my age was looking at Tom and Jerry and seeing that the devil and the angel on the shoulders was representative of like you and yourself. Like I don't think anyone at the age of like fucking like 8 or 9 was doing that, watching Tom and Jerry. I think everyone else was just watching Tom and Jerry and laughing at them getting the shit beat out of each other. I was sitting there studying that cartoon, dude. But yeah, you can see like here's the first one. It's the feminine, right? The feminine card, the 2 of Cups. It goes the masculine going to the feminine. Even though the feminine's there on the left, that the masculine's the one moving. So it goes 1, 2. Masculine's there. Masculine, the feminine. And then you have feminine, the masculine, the feminine. Feminine, the masculine, the feminine. And then you have your 3 of Cups there. That was the end result of the feminine. I mean, the end result of the masculine. And then here's the feminine again, with the God handing you the cup. You're in contemplation. You're receiving things back to the feminine. Back to the masculine. You did the action. You spilt the cups. You have 2 left. That was your action. Back to the feminine. Walking back to the see what I mean? It's there. It's in the cards. It goes 1 2 1 2 back to forth each time. You're walking to you're going with the masculine force. You're going to the feminine. The feminine's giving you an idea. You're taking that action and moving with it. The feminine's giving you a result. You end up getting that result even more, right? And then you have both pairs together. So that the 2 children there, meaning that whatever you have been giving that attention to, giving birth to something new on the physical, that's a masculine going to a feminine. Going back to a masculine, mastery over that feeling and being able to move forward. It's the back and forth, like you can't have one without the other. It's all in there, but like you have to see it in that sort of way. You have to be aware of like the laws of tarot and the laws of the energy that these cards are bound by, and the laws of the universe that people talk so heavily about, yet they're out the window when it comes down to certain things. And that's like common sense, not really common sense, but it can be like adjacent, not parallel, but adjacent. I'll say that to it. It can definitely be adjacent to it. Why are we not doing exorcisms yet? Because they gotta be willing. You can't be just doing exorcisms on people that aren't willing. They gotta have permission. If they don't will for that demon to go out with their own free will, that demon don't gotta do shit. It can sit in there. The vessel didn't say it wanted me out. I ain't hear nothing. I'm gonna sit in here and do what I gotta do. And also, they gotta not do what they did to get possessed in the first place, or they're gonna get possessed again, and it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be way worse than it was before. Way worse. Because when that demon comes back, it comes up with 7 more, and it bops you. I watched a little bit of the Animaniacs. I just wasn't allowed to all the time because it wasn't like always on in my area, at least. We had it for a while, but it wasn't like regular or anything. It was like sporadic. But it's so funny. I went back. I finally got to rewatch Laser Wolf. I finally got to rewatch season 1 of Laser Wolf, which made me really happy. But I couldn't enjoy it because I was breaking down like in-depth meanings of what was going on. Even if the creators didn't mean to like put it in there, I was picking up on so much. Like, they have a lot of fourth wall breaks in it. I won't lie. They are a very meta show, which I think is why they got booted. Because they were extremely meta and they talked about God. I think a lot of people were upset about the God being black in this show as well. But they can get over that because the show was fucking funny. But it's a really like silly meta show when it comes down to it. But I looked into it a little bit too deep. I guess I can't watch things without doing that anymore. And it was fun. I had a fun time breaking it down. Oh man, I don't know. I'm just mainly focused on that whole third eye thing still that I was going through, because it's just run through my head, because like it wasn't even like two weeks ago where I was having all those like crazy throbbing like third eye stuff, and then like I don't know, my brain's background running. But yeah, I don't know, there's so much within tarot. I don't know. Some people just also don't want to read actual tarot, which is completely fine. But like, why are you using the cards then? Like, if you don't want to read tarot, then don't use anything that is tarot, dude. Like, it doesn't even matter if someone made a homemade deck and called it tarot. If you're not gonna read it, don't read it. Go get you some playing cards. That's not tarot. That's cardomancy. That's something different. You can do the same thing with it, because tarot created card reading, and that tarot cards created that because they needed a new way to hide them. So they associated the symbols with that sense, because it's the same reason. Like tarot card, the playing deck was mimicking the tarot deck. Not this one, but the European one that they used to play parlor games with. They ended up making a full-on card game with it. I think it was a 36 card deck, 63 or 36 card deck. I can't remember for sure. Don't quote me. But it didn't have any major arcana in it. Well, no, that one did have major arcana in it. The actual original tarot didn't. But even then, tarot wasn't even put into like card formation until around the gypsies, you know. But I don't even know what that looked like. I don't even know if they were using playing cards at that point in time, or if they had like their own like designed cards. So that's something else I want to do during going down this journey, is hopefully finding like an actual original tarot deck from Egypt to see what it looked like there, to get the full image of it. Because all Pamela and them could do was make imagery off of the lessons that they left behind and diving deep into it in that sense. They didn't have like actual like imagery to go off of. And obviously you're not going to use the French deck to use, because the French deck went through like the Scottish rites and then through masonry and went through all that stuff, because then the Romans started making secret schools and stuff in their own secret societies, same as the Egyptians did, because they had their own secret schools and stuff too. But then the Romans took it and then made their own thing out of it in that sense. And that's where the Kabbalicism and stuff started popping up, and the Jewish magic era came in. And then John Dee was invented. I only mentioned John Dee because of Enochian magic, so why not? It fits with the Kabbalists a little bit. But that was around the British War, because John Dee was using angel magic during the British War, the British Indian War, for some reason. They were just fucking Imagine like getting hired by the government to do magic with angels. That's fucking crazy. That's what happened with John Dee. He created a whole system, and the government was like, "Hey, we're at war. Why don't you use your angels to help us fucking do something?" And that's what he did. Enochian magic, angel was used in many wars actually. But it originated in England, in the big UK, because that was presumed to be the Holy Land at one point in time because of the Pope. But you know, the workings work. You know, I don't get the whole Pope ideology. The Pope is here, so this has to be the Holy Land. Okay, okay, say so. Yep. We just all got together and made this man Pope, so now this has to be Holy Land. Gotcha. Cool. So I can be Pope now. Kinda. It goes around the same thing, but Enochian goes through all 72 Kabbalist angels. Enochian stops at after the Kabbalah system. You can go further, obviously, and find omnipotent and secret angels. That's what John Dee did. John Dee involved Enochian from just the basis of like the 72 Kabbalists all the way to finding different types of angels, like hidden angels, secret angels, angels that we don't even know the names of, that are in other books. Like they're backed up with biblical precedents, but we don't have them all up. Like most of them from the book of Enoch, which is why it's Enochian magic, because it's the study of Enoch and God's relativity and how close they were, and the study of Noah's life as well and his path, and how they worked with the angels and how the angels communicate with them and how God worked with them, and using that sense of power to work with the angels moving forward. But it's a really cool system, dude. There are so many angels out there that you just don't even know about. And they're like attuned to very specific things. And it's like, huh. And some of the angels that we have today are just renamed, or differently pronounced, or however, to mean a different one. Like Tiazkiel, can be two different angels. Um, fuck, who are they? It can be Tiazkiel already, like by basis, but he can be something else. It depends. So they're like interchange. It's a whole fucking thing. Um, so the Enochian system is bizarre when you work with the angels like that. You start to like really see like the forces you're messing with, and then when you work with like omnipotent forces, you realize how weak angels are, because omnipotent angels, it doesn't even fucking matter if your guardian angel can't do it. They'll fucking make a way for it to work. Like, oh, you need this to happen, okay, we'll make it happen, because they're above the archangels. The archangels are only gonna over arc a certain thing. That's why they're arcing. It's arc for a reason. Archangels and archdemons, right? Then you have your omnipotent, the ones that can fucking do whatever the hell they want. They're not bound by restriction. But, you know, just to talk about those for those. If someone's interested in looking up angel shit like that, you go into it and look at all of it, because it's all out there. But people, there's a lot more than we would like to think. They only give us like a spoonful of shit. We just got to take that spoon and run with it and see what else that can come out of it. Yeah, the mushroom cult. That whole thing. And then the whole like the same thing with like the LSD, where they just like started like paying teenagers to just do LSD and like, kidnapping kids from their home and like drugging them and shit. To test the effects of MK Ultra. Not only that, but just the mind effects of that chemical itself, and seeing like what they can do with all that shit. And then like what happens if someone does acid for a long time, like having all those programs in like the fucking, what was it, the 60s and 70s, I think, where all those kids would literally just leave home, and just like do acid for the government for like months on years on end, and come out like these complete like different beings. That was a whole thing. There's a lot of operations like that. Solomon didn't have 72 legions of demons. He recovered them. He made seals for them. He also made seals for the 72 angels as well. He also made seals for the planets and the planetary angels and the planetary demons, as well as some of the archons, and the planetaries as in individual. Without Solomon, we wouldn't have any form of knowledge of Enochian magic or angel seals or sigils or keys, which are Enochian calls, as they're called, or angel keys. We wouldn't have any of those without Solomon. And then Aleister Crowley took Solomon's, his workings, and focused more on the not the Kabbalahs, but I can never say the name of it, but it begins with a Q. I know y'all are, the shadow, the light, the tree of shadow, the tree of shadows. I can't say it. The Qipth, I think it begins with a Q. I can't say it. But he took that path and learned about that, and delved more into like sex magic and that occult of things, working with like angels in a different sense as well. But he also just made those 3 books as 2. Yeah, I know. Yeah, thank you. I can never pronounce it off the top of my head, but I see it. I see how it's spelled in my head, but I can never pronounce it. So thank you. And yeah, I know about Aleister Crowley. I know. I'm not. I know about a lot of things, dude. I was unsupervised with internet. I learned all about spell work when I was like young, way too young. I never did anything, but I knew how to hex people. I knew all sorts of shit. I knew all the ingredients that I needed to do something to someone, but I was just too lazy. It was not worth my time or effort. I could not care. There was nothing in the world that would make me mad enough to do it. And there still hasn't been anything mad enough for me to do it. despite almost being killed twice, which is very lucky, because god dang, if I was a different person, they would have been somewhere else by now. But we good. But yeah, I don't see things as good or bad, and that's why I know about Aleister Crowley. Because I'm not, if I'm wanting to get wisdom on things and know how things work, I can't have a mentality of, oh, this is good and this is bad. I don't. Who gives a shit? I don't care what they did. Aleister did some very important research for us, dude. What the world of magic would not be as potent without Aleister's work. Yeah, he opened a portal. Yeah, he fucking let his traumas get to him, whatever. But he knew what the fuck he was talking about. You know what I mean? It's just, you can learn anything from anyone. You know, I mean, that's what I did. I just learned from all sorts of teachers. I don't really care about their past life. I'm not gonna follow their footsteps. I just want to know what they seen, what they learned, because I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna limit myself to, being so dual within self that I can't even agree that it's okay to learn and to study. Like, when is wisdom bad for you? Ever since the Bible told you it was, and that's the first bit of dogma that you got to get over. Is like, you can have wisdom. It's not the tree of wisdom, dude. It's the fucking tree of good and evil. They weren't supposed to know what good and what good and evil was. They weren't supposed to know that shit was a thing. That's why we have it. You could eat the wisdom. You can have wisdom. You just weren't. They weren't supposed to just figure out that things could be good or bad. That was the issue. And that's what we got to go back and revert, is seeing things as not being good or bad, and really just seeing like it's just us. It's like it's my observation of it. And welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, I'm always studying still. Why is that the issue? Because determining things as good or bad now makes that a solidified thing. Everything is neutral. Nothing is good or bad. Saying something is good motivates you to do it. Saying something bad prevents you from doing it. If I say eating is bad and someone takes that to heart, they'll never eat again and die of starvation, because they'll really believe that eating is bad. I can make up a whole story about how if you eat one piece of food, you'll go to hell and explode, and you'll never you'll never see the light of God again. And someone could believe it, and they'll go their whole life without eating and die, you know, because they believe that it was bad. That's the whole dogma thing. That's the whole mind control that people like try to have, and that's with good and bad. When you see things as good and bad, now you have a leverage to play on. Nothing's good or bad. It's all up to you. Either you agree to do it or you agree to not do it. There's no disagreement. The only disagreement would be is when you argue with yourself. Like the apple, yeah. Like the apple just represents wisdom. The wisdom was the apple. The wisdom of seeing things as good and evil. That, though that's beneficial a little bit for some people, I guess, because they need that sort of crutch. But but I don't. No one really needs it. It's the ego that needs it. But it keeps the heart space separated. You don't need to know things be good or bad, because that keeps you away from God. It keeps you from creating. Oh, this idea is bad. Now I have to compare myself to someone and I think it's bad. It's all these things. It goes down to small things. Even like, I don't want to like release anything, because if I release this, it doesn't sound like this other person. Or if I don't want to wear this shirt, because this shirt, someone said that this color is a bad color, and I don't want to yada yada yada. You know what I mean? It's that fight between keeping yourself from being authentic to being shaped by this physical world. You're not supposed to be shaped by the physical world. You're already shaped by God's vision, by your soul's transformation. You've already been shaped. You're perfect. The only part of you that's imperfect is the part of you that's the flesh. That opinion of good and evil is the imperfection of self. Other than that, everything else is perfect. And that's what we just got to get back to. But I mean, like, to each their own. We got an eternity to do this stuff. There's not really like a rush, but at the end of the day. Well, I don't believe that everyone has a soul purpose, because not everyone has a soul. There are people who are made in labs. There are people who are grown in like patches of like cabbage and corn. That's why they have movies of kids of the corn and Cabbage Patch Kids. That was to show you that they were doing experiments and growing kids in labs. They were been doing this fucking forever. It's called cloning and shit. It's like, it's real. So not everyone has a soul. Those individuals don't have souls. They're husks. They're being controlled simply by an artificial life. They're not real. They're actually not real, but they don't even know it. They're not real. You know, the term sleeper agent, when people get turned to sleeper agents, same sort of thing. They're waiting for a tick to go off for them to do their final action and leave. You know, the ones that do have souls have a destiny. That soul, the sole purpose that people have on the physical is to follow the heart space, so you can follow destiny. Your only purpose on this life is to connect back to the heart, to go back to mother, not go to God, not go to the Father. The Father is already on the physical. You don't need Father. Father is already there. You need to go back to the physical. You need to go back to mother. You need to actualize who mother is, the feeling, the heart space, and work from there. That's the soul's purpose. But the mind, the rational mind, the flesh make it a battle, and that's where we're moving. Yeah, I can definitely break that further down in a video for sure, Gray. Because what a lot of people think is that you need a soul to live. You don't need a soul to live. You need pyre. And that source of pyre is divine love. And that's why individuals on this plane can exist and live. The divine mother loves you so much, you can create what you desire. So people who end up creating like clones and whatever, they're able to exist on some form of frequency, no matter how they may look on the physical, and no matter how bad they may be that individual who's that's been created may be suffering. The pyre, the mother, the source around this realm loves us so much that we allow ourselves to create that invention. You know, Frankenstein, Jekyll and Hyde, all these things. Like the mother loves us so much that if we put our full effort into creating something, no matter if it's a monster or something that's going to benefit or not, we can create it. It's just a matter of like what that creation is going to do. We can't control that. You know, that's its own life force choice. It has its now it has its own free will. It has its own mindset. It's its own consciousness. It can move still. Consciousness isn't a soul, isn't from the soul. Consciousness is from the air that we breathe. We breathe in consciousness. If we don't breathe, we lose consciousness. We don't die immediately. We just black out and lose consciousness. And yeah, I practice magic. And yeah, Enochian magic, already, talked a shit ton about that. I do a bit of hoodoo here and there. And just like some things that I don't know what they are yet because I haven't really delved into it, but it's just more of things that my guides kind of tell me to do off and on. Not hoodoo, not really Enochian. I don't know what it is. It's just guided stuff at that point, like intuitive magic, I guess you can call it. I don't know what else to fucking call it, but like, aberration for sure, protection work, conjuration a little bit. I know how to do necromancy, and I also know how to do necromancy in a beneficial way, because you can use necromancy and shadow work to bring up very, very old memories in people to help them heal from that, and that can help with root work as well. I've learned how to do some of that. I'm still kind of learning how to do that. No one taught me. I've been guided. Ever since I was a child, I've been guided to do this shit. Like, this isn't something that I like woke up one day and was like, I'm gonna do this. No, this has been my life. Like, ever since I had damn, what age was it? Like 5 or 6 or 7. I opened my third eye really young, and then I had a near-death experience like very closely after that, where I cracked my forehead open. And then after that, I've just been on the path, full on, full force. I've studied things, I've researched things, I've talked to people. Necromancy. We'll see. Here's the thing: when people hear the word necromancy, they immediately think that you're going to a graveyard and bringing back the dead. They don't realize how deep it is. And people that only see necromancy as an act of raising the dead, you're not as magical as you think you are. Necromancy, bringing things back from the dead. Things from the past can be dead. You do necromancy all the time when you think about the past. When you bring up those past emotions that come back to you, that's necromancy. It's just bringing things back that have already passed, bringing things back that have already like passed or like aren't there, that are dead, that aren't around, that are black in that sense or forgotten. It's not forbidden. It depends on what you mean, what practice of necromancy you're doing. You know, because in the form of necromancy that I've been doing, nothing bad happens. Ain't no zombie coming up from the grave. Ain't no spirits running around. It's shadow work. Skull divination, that's osteomancy. That's called bone divination, and that's not against God. Like divination's divination. That's dogma. They're trying to whatever. That's some form of dogma right there. Because osteomancy is not against any will. Like if you want to talk to a spirit, osteomancy, dude, you're talking to something that literally came out of a living animal at that point. A living being. Like that's as close to spirit as you can fucking get, dude. If you can cleanse that spirit and make sure it's good and helpful and get rid of all the gunk off of it, you're good. Kinda. Jinns fall in a category in westernized teachings as a demon. But jinns are also super fucking weak, dude. Like they like when you hear a demon, you're supposed like demons are like usually a bit more complicated. Jinns are afraid of every fucking thing, dude. Jinns are pussies. Jinns are afraid of people. It's the fact that the person themselves is so mentally weak or scared of the jinn itself that it can be possessed by it. Jinns can't do anything except for persuade you. It's just Beelzebub's servants. If you're gonna think about jinn, think of Iblis, Beelzebub, and his servants, just trying to persuade you to do something. That's all a jinn is. Demons are more the ones that rule legions. And then you have your princes, your prince. Then you have like your dukes, your kings, your princes, your principals, your presidents, and things of that nature. And those are like your archangels and your archangel categories of like angels, seraphim, oraphim, the wheels, et cetera, et cetera. Some people want to talk to spirit. I don't know. And just how it be. Some people really just feel like you need to have tools to do those things. You really don't. Like, you don't use tarot to get messages from any form of spirit at all. I don't know why people are using like you get messages from spirit. No, you can't. That's called channeling. And you're just using those cards as a rational mind motivator to build a story so you can channel what you desire rather than I don't know about Taoism that much. I haven't delved too much into it. I have a very, I'm gonna say, strict path. I don't look into things unless I'm told to look into them. I don't look into things unless they pop up on my path. So I haven't looked into Taoism at all. That's just kind of how I keep it. Because a lot of the like studying and stuff I've done was when I was younger. It's just more of me meditating with it and putting it into practice now. So I've literally been like practicing this mindset, practicing this body build, like physical, not physical body build, but like the inner body build for a while, like years. I think when I was like 15 or 16, I began to like shift and focus on that. I can't remember because I had like a dark night of the soul for like 10 years, which was fucking wild. But I had that going all the way through middle school. I remember that. So it was when I was above, like, I had to have been like 15 or either 14, 15, or 16, one of those three ages, whenever that Dark Night of the Soul ended. Because I fucking, like, after I learned like a few things, I got shot right to the Dark Night of the Soul, and there was no escape. Like, I was just fucking stuck. Luckily, I was still young and living with parents, but god dang, dude, that shit still was not. It didn't even matter, dude. It was still awful, honestly. With that ceremonial magic, you don't need magic to get in touch with your higher self. You just meditate. Your higher self is really just in your heart space. You just have to listen to your heart. That's really all you have to do. This high, all these like categories of like higher self, angels and things, these things of the divine reside within the heart. It's the mind and its imagination and how it uses that fuel that curates your connection to those things. So it's not really that you need to use ceremonial magic. It's just like going into a meditative state, or like laying down, quieting the mind fully, and just listening to a heart space, or like even asking yourself out loud, like, how am I going to get around this question? Get around this. Talking to yourself in that matter will also give you those answers too. I mean, doing ceremonial magic can definitely help if that's something that because a lot of times when you do ceremonial magic, it does help out a lot, with just generating that feeling of spirit, generating the energy that you're needing. But really, if you're able to tap into yourself, you know, or at least be aware of the question that you're asking and aware of like the thoughts that are running, you can really get your answer a lot faster in that sense. We aren't taught how to feel, and we're not taught how to really care for our mental. And those are the two things. And that's the whole thing. People are like, mental health doesn't exist and whatever, and you're too much in your feelings and you're too emotional, all that shit. That's the whole fucking reason why, because no one's taught how to like not control, but how to manage them. So people end up getting scared and freaked out and uncomfortable when people begin to be authentic in their feelings. And that's why people go like, "Oh, don't cry, don't cry." No, let them cry. They're cleansing themselves. Don't tell them to stop cleansing themselves. You're telling them to like you're bottling them back up into a bottle. Like, you might do it from a place of love, but truly you're allowing that person to feel like they're a bother. So allow them to do what they need to do. Don't crush someone's path. You know what I mean? Oh my lord, my foot. Whew. There's also meditations that you can do, like guided meditations. I'll tell you, I'll be real with you. I didn't talk to my higher self until like a year and a half, 2 years, 2 years, 2.5 years ago. Excuse me, 2.5 years ago, I talked to my higher self for the first time, and I did that through a guided meditation. I was doing the gateway of activation tapes because I found them one day and I was like, you know what, I'll go through them. So I was learning how to do those, just going through that state. I already know how to like astral travel and things, but it was more of just like getting more attuned to it. So I did those tapes, and then I found a meditation to help me connect to my higher self and my guide. I won't be able to find the video, but I remember like what you need to do, and basically like when you get comfortable enough, you begin to walk. Imagine yourself walking downstairs, and walking downstairs is walking from your mind to your heart space. So it's like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're in the heart, right? Your higher self, the higher self, really is just talking about the part of you or the divine inside of you that knows your path. It's just the omniscient part of you, which is the divine part of you. That's really all your higher self is. The people make labels and make phrases for things, and that's perfectly fine. But your higher self is really just your heart space. It's just the part of you that's omniscient. You know, it's the part of you that knows, hey, I shouldn't do that. It's not an external being. It's really all internal. There's nothing outside of you that isn't already inside of you. So when you're like talking about the higher self, it's just, it's your intuition. It's all these things that people talk about. Oh, you have these things, but they don't actually know what they're talking about because they don't go into depth with it. Your perception on things can even be your higher self, that inner voice, your stomach, that gut feeling. All these intuitive feelings and nudges that you get are your higher self, pushing you towards that place. I'm glad you asked that. Not a lot of people ask questions like that. You really have to like ask these things because again, these are just labels that we're faced with. We're not really told like what they mean. We're told like definitions of them, but we're not told what they actually mean. We're told about it in this sense like external, but it's really just that intuitive part of you. And welcome in, welcome in. But I enjoy questions like that, so I'm really glad you asked that, Winner. Like, thank you. Because those are the type of questions that we gotta start asking people to know like if they know what they're talking about or not. Like genuinely, it's if we because if we're gonna use these terms, if we're really gonna agree to these terms, it's like what are we agreeing to? Signing a contract. If I agree to using the term Earth Angel, what does it mean to be an Earth Angel? What responsibilities am I now taking on that an Earth Angel has? What's the whole character of that? Oh, you're a chosen one. What's the whole characteristic of a chosen one? What am I choosing for that? What does that even mean? All these terms that we just agree to and then wonder why things take a left turn and explode on us because you've signed a spiritual contract by saying, yeah, I'm this, I'm that. So now you're that. So why are you unable to move forward with those things? Because maybe you weren't actually that. You signed a contract that you weren't aware of. It's not that you can't back out of it, but it's that fear of backing out of it. Of, oh, if I don't do this in my whole life's going to fall apart. No, it won't. No one said that if you leave spirituality or leave religion, that God's going to immediately turn around with a Tommy gun and blast you. No one said that. Like, that's not a thing. That's a dogma thing that the rational mind creates out of fear because it knows that at the end of the day, a godless man is a fearful one, obviously. But to not be led by fear by that God is the most important part. If my life was a book, what would the title of that book be? I don't know. I wouldn't have a title, actually. It would not be a title at all. The front cover would be an image. It would have no title, actually. It just would not. It would just have an image consulting of everything. And I can explain dogmas in a minute. But the book would just consist of a photo that has symbology of everything in that book that it talks about within the life. That's what it would be. Because I really don't like titling things or labeling things. I do my best to stay away from that because I don't want to keep that cycle going on, at least in my peripherals anymore. And dogma, hold on. Let me get some documents up. Let me get some, because I have like definitions of stuff as well. So let me get this for you, so we can go through it together. Because I love doing this shit. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? What was it called? Facts or something? Why am I? Don't do that. Stop. Hold on. There it is. So let me get this open. This is really zoomed in. Why does it need to be that zoomed in? Where is the word dogma at? Because I'd rather just show you the definition of it, and then talk about it as well. There it is. And we're going to have clairvoyance up there too. Anyway, dogma is an official system of principles or tenets concerning faith, morals, or behavior, etc. of a church. And you zoom out a little bit more. A specific tenet or doctrine authoritatively laid down, such as the church prescribed doctrine proclaimed as unquestionably true by a particular group, a settled or established opinion, belief, or principle. And then you have the word psychic up here as well, if you want to know that. But yeah, you can look up etymology of dogma, and it comes up. You can look up origin of dogma, and it comes up. But it is just a way to it's just a mind control tactic, really. It's like MK Ultra. Dogma is like this. You know those fucking videos where like you're gonna get in trouble if you touch the food. Like, don't eat this marshmallow off the plate or you're gonna get in trouble. And they're watching the kid on the tape. That's what dogma is. It's to see if you're willing to like temptate out of that boundary. It is to keep people docile and civil, which we don't need to be civil. We need to be sovereign. You know, civil rights don't do anything but hurt us as individuals. We need to be sovereign. But like things of like, oh, you're gonna go to hell if you do this, or you know, when people threaten you with going somewhere, or if you do this, you're, you know, something bad's gonna happen. Things of that can be related to dogma in a religious and or a spiritual sense. Like, if someone were to threaten you spiritually, it could be a form of dogma. If someone were to threaten you religiously, that's a form of dogma. Like, oh, you know, God's gonna get you for this, and it's like, no, they're not, because God don't get no one. God lets you get yourself. It's literally one of the 11 laws of the universe. Keep in mind and know peacefully that the divine cannot bring or give any form of blessing or destruction. They leave you up to that decision on how you want to move. You know, you have the pleasure of doing that. So God is not gonna do a damn thing to no one. Shut the fuck up with that shit, Christians. God gonna do something to you because the God inside of you is gonna beat your ass when you pass out. That's just how it goes, because you shouldn't have fucking used the word against someone. Let me find the book. I can read you the law and everything. I can tell you the exact law of life and everything, so you can look from it. It's the law of Harukut. Know that divinity neither punishes nor rewards nor protects. You will have the comfort of controlling these for yourself. That is the law of Harukut. Haruik. Yeah, I said that right. Never mind. It's part of the 11 universal laws, but it's in this book. This book is all about like Sekhem healing, the Egyptian like Reiki, basically. One of the original forms of energy healing, a lot more powerful than Reiki, unfortunately, but more people use Reiki because it's easier to get into. You have to, you know, at some point during Sekhem, you have to be initiated by Sekhmet and or go through like the fire trials, or I forgot what it was actually called. I don't think it's in the book, but you can like initiate people. I can initiate people. I've gone through the whole book. I'm third degree. I've practiced it. I do Sekhem for people all the time. It's really well. The only thing that's different with Sekhem is you do not charge with Sekhem. Like the difference between Reiki and Sekhem is you pay for Reiki. Sekhem you don't pay any money for. Sekhem's energy is to be kept pure like that. It's a pure practice. To not be dirtied by money, by the fear of not having enough, because that would dirty the practice. A lot of Reiki masters who do, you know, pay for that, that's fine, but those that like go through the school of the original like energetic healing is like, why would you pay for things that's already fucking outside? Like, if the energy that I'm using doesn't cost any fucking money, why am I charging someone else? You know what I mean? Like, that's the logic behind not charging someone with Sekhem healing. Is if I'm able to channel this energy through my divine body freely without any exertion or exhaustion or pain, why the fuck would I charge someone anything for that? You know what I mean? Nah, exactly, Steven. God gonna give me a goddamn ice cream. You're gonna say, it's gonna be, you know what? I stood up for myself. I'm gonna go get me that ice cream. I'm gonna go get me that Olive Garden I've been wanting. You know what? I'm gonna get that Olive Garden I've been wanting forever. Just because you said God gonna get me, I'm gonna make sure you get me. I'm gonna go Olive Garden. You're gonna get me for sure. You're gonna pay the whole bill. Karma? Nah, that's not called karma. Karma's an act. Karma's not at all what you think. Karma is just an action, a response to an action. That's all it is. Karma does not mean a bad reaction to a good thing. Not at all. A karma is just an action that begets an action, which would be a reaction. What you're thinking, what people think karma isn't karma. It's actually called a consequence or a consequence. A sequences of cons that happen after you choose a path. Because when you choose one path, no matter what, the opposite has to follow. So the law of karma that's been westernized is a bunch of bullshit. The actual law of karma and dharma, even dharma being the evolution of the human body, the leveling up and the leveling down of them, and karma just being the call and response. You have your consequence. Now you have the reaction that goes against your main one. Oh, you ended up driving to go to work, but now you have to go stop at a red light, and that makes you a little bit upset or agitates you. That's what's going on. Destiny and free will. We all have free will. We all have a destiny. It's up to you to use both, to use your free will to choose your destiny. You have free will. You yourself, the I of you, the ego of you has free will, and the rational mind of you has free will as well. That's why your thoughts will come in at random and say bullshit that you don't even want to hear at times, because it has free will as well. You have to use your free will as an individual to go against what the outside world's trying to convince you of consuming and portraying, right? That's what's going on. No one can steal your destiny. Your destined path is yours. That's a bunch of horseshit. If someone says they can steal your destiny, that's a bunch of bullshit. The only reason why someone can steal your destiny is because you're not walking your path and you're watching someone else walks that path, and now you're upset that they're walking it and you're not. And instead of walking that path, you end up sulking down and not walking it yourself, right? It's your destiny. No one can do it the way you can. It's impossible. You can't destiny swap with people. It's a bunch of bullshit. But everyone has one. Everyone, you wouldn't be here on Earth if you didn't have a destiny. Does that mean that your destiny is going to be favorable for everyone? Hell no. Some people's destiny is to shoot up a school. Genuinely. Because that's why they were born, is to experience that. Their destiny was to experience that. That might have been a fate. Their destiny could just be to be experienced fate. You never know. But destiny exists for everyone. It's up to you to walk that path to destiny, which involves you walking a path unknown to the physical world, one that causes you to go into uncharted waters and to sail and to go across the seven seas and to find all the wisdom, to find everything that you need and to return back home with all that wisdom. That's the destined path. And to follow the golden brick road back home, back to the heart space. What gives you joy? What enlightens you? Because a lot of people within spirituality, they forget one major thing. Everything is energy. And if only they could remember that, there'd be so much better things. Because there's no such thing as someone being like negative and then you saying, oh, they're just a negative person. No, you're saying that they're a giving person. We're dealing with the realm of energy. Remember that. Negative is receiving. The masculine is giving. Why would you say that someone's negative? Why would you receive? Why are you saying that they're receiving? What are they receiving? I don't know. Your attention to call them that, apparently. I don't know. Like, it's been I don't know. It's like somewhere down the path, people forget that like everything's energy. And if we just keep it in that sense, it's fine. Sure, you can say negative means no because the elite in the military, yeah, whatever, sure. But that doesn't mean that it means bad. It just means no. Negatory, negative, no. It's giving it. I'm giving you the answer of no, negatory, right? Whatever, however you want to say it. But it's just look at a battery. Just look at a battery, honestly. Because a lot of people get confused about that. They'll say like, because if we're going to talk energy, feminine energy is negative energy. And you can't say that around some people because they'll think you're saying feminine energy is bad. No one's saying that. You're saying that to yourself because of your own delusion, your own way of thinking. You know, if you would listen to what it's being said, you would get different. But negative, you know, looking at the traits of negative energy, how it's giving, how it's the nurturing. It nurtures the battery. It receives that power so it can, so that the masculine, the positive side of the battery can charge the full thing. Yeah, you don't, there's no such like negative energy in the sense of how the spiritual community talks about it doesn't fucking exist. That's a whole thing to get you sucked into a whole world of like discombobulation. Keep it simple. If you just remember that it's a battery, it's fine. The smart person will always outsmart themselves, and this realm is full of symbology to teach you everything about it. Faith, no. Faith is the same thing as fate, dude. Faith will get you nowhere but walking in circles and keeping you in hopeless energy. You gotta walk in knowing and truth. You need to know you have a destiny. You need to walk the path. Be Cinderella. Do not care about the three evil stepsisters walking around doing shit. Who gives a fuck? You have a destiny to go to. You have to get to the ball and you have to leave before it hits 12. That's your two goals. Worry about that. Everything else is taken care of. All you have to do is find what makes you happy and do that shit. Everything else will come along. Follow Cinderella's footsteps. The masculine, the goal, the end result that you're wanting will find you, and then you'll both move together. That's all you have to do. Become in that feminine energy to attract what you're desiring, and it will glue to you, and then y'all be ready to go. That's all you gotta do. Seriously. It's not that complicated, but people, again, like the spiritual community, they're not they're not that tapped in. They might be tapped into like the European knowledge, but they're not tapped into the truth. We're talking about we're talking about gypsy riddles and shit, dude. We're talking about all sorts of things that tell the story alive. That's called being tapped in and knowing shit, dude. What are you tapped into? Because I'm tapped into truth. I'm tapped into the riddle side of things, into the Egyptian side of things. I'm tapped into the roots from where things like began and began to fully solidify before they were torn down. Like before Egypt, even the Sumerians and everything of that nature that built up to the Egyptian. If the Egyptian, era wasn't rated the way that it was, the world today would have been completely different. It would have we would be in so much of a crazier place. We would have so much more power over what what we would desire, and we would be able to live a comfortable life to our own peace without desiring to have more from others. Of course, there would still be a percent of people that would live for that, but that it would no longer be an issue because your rational mind would already know that it could just create what the fuck it wanted in peace without needing to worry about hurting anyone else or doing it out of a vengeful act. But really, read the story of Cinderella. Read the story of Cinderella. Truly, I'm telling you. It when you reread it, it will shape you differently. You are Cinderella. You have a destiny. You're getting distracted by the naysayers, by those who want to copy your style or want to do what you want to do. You just have to walk down that path. No one else can fit that shoe but you. It don't fucking matter how hard they try. You remember in the movie that shoe flipped off that bitch's foot and flew down the hallway. Ain't no way in hell she gonna fit in that destiny. She can't do it. Truly. That's all you have to remember. And a lot of people don't want to think like that. It's terrifying that they don't want to think like that. But that's just their own life path that they got to go down. Maybe they got to struggle with that this lifetime. That's cool. But if I can free someone, shit, that's the first thing I'll tell them. Everyone has a destiny. Don't worry about someone stealing it. The fact that someone would even want to try and steal your destiny is the fact that they're not even on theirs. And they see you and they're comparing you to them. And their life is shit and they think yours is good. And they just got jealous of you. That's the only reason why anyone even dare to try and think about doing some shit like that. And even then, dude, let's say this. Let's say someone was trying to hijack the path you were walking, right? Let's say they wanted to walk your path because it looked better. What if you were 5 days away from like getting into a car wreck and dying? They would take that path and they'd go 5 days later, they'd be on the news dead. Like, I don't think these people understand what's going on when it comes down to these things. Anything in this realm is possible, of course, very true. But it has to have the scientific, logistic backing to it. It needs to have logic. Even though this realm can create anything, it's a mental realm off logic. There is a pattern, a diaphragm that we have to follow when it comes down to these rules. And that's what people forget. A lot of people forget that. The fact that you would even announce that you don't want your destiny stolen protects it. That's a verbal contract between you yourself and the God that you follow. Exactly. Because a belief and a knowing is different. You don't want to have a belief. A belief keeps you in a hopeless state. Um, it's the little tank engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. Seriously, dude. I'm not. I wish I could make it up, dude. And I know I'm not like, I know that we're just, conversating, but just in general, like even just talking about it, every time I do it, it just like sends shivers up me about how like in our face the answers to this world are. Like every solution, I mean every problem that we come up with has a fairy tale to it. Really, it does. Everything has a riddle to it that we can solve. That's your Akashic records. You want to open your Akashic records? You want to talk to Thoth? He's going to give you riddles, dude. Have you solved the Sphinx's riddle yet? Have you gone through the era of the Sphinx where you've dived into yourself and answered those deep riddles within yourself? Have you seen the Sphinx's wisdom? Have you answered the door of the two men where one tells the truth and one tells a lie? Those journeys are inward journeys of yourself that you have to check. The two men guarding the door, one tells the truth, one tells the lie, is your mind and your heart. Your heart always tells the truth, and your mind can sometimes tell one, but they'll always tell you a lie. It's about following your heart. That's what it's trying to show you. That door that you're trying to get to is that destiny point, but you have to understand that heart space is always going to tell you the truth. The rational mind can be very convincing, but there's only one thing that will stand true, and that is the heart space. Yep. Basically, you do end up stealing your destiny from yourself, and that part of you, again, that's this whole thing. Like this is this complication with people. There are two people inside of us. This is why we have like this is why we can talk to ourselves. Our rational mind has that free will. Like truly, it's not something that I'm making up. Like that's why when you think about something, like it goes off course by itself. You don't want it to, it just does it. It has that will. We have our own will as well to control that and to get that to stop if we need. It's really us against us. We have to fight for what we desire, for the heart space. Remember the better good for it and ignore the rational mind. The rational mind has very good points sometimes, very much sure. It really will. It will totally convince you otherwise. But you have to remember there's a deeper meaning behind it. And even if your destined path doesn't make sense, even if the goal that you go for isn't what you desire, it's gonna branch off into something that will create something. We're never told the full plan up front for a reason. But these are the mechanics of life that not many people like talk about. And it's really this way. It's not even like deep in a sense. It doesn't have to get as deep as we go over here. It could be as shallow as reading the fairy tales and the riddles, right? But we have to know like what they're trying to show us through the symbology, through what they're saying, through the lessons that they're teaching, putting ourself as the character in those stories to know those lessons, to see how we would overcome those things, the might that it takes for us, the David and Goliath story, even, all of these things. It's all relating to us in our own personal journey, not us as a whole, but us as an individual in our own perception, our own understanding of what that subject is in the grand scheme of everyone doing that same thing. You know, we're all doing the same thing, just in our own way. But yeah, the existence of this realm is very we're taught backwards, dude. We're taught so backwards. We're taught inside out. We're taught outside in. We need to be taught inside out. Is what we need to be doing. I mean, that's why they had the movie Inside Out, dude. Like, that's the whole point of that movie, is to show you that your feelings are there, but they call them emotions. But they feelings, and it's there, but they just use the word. And it doesn't matter what word they use, because as long as you know what you're talking about, it's fine. Right? But it's all there. Like, it's beautiful how it works. It's just, we have to be more attentive to it. Even if we don't watch, like, I never watched Inside Out, but when I seen the premise of it, it's like, yeah, that's what's going on. Those aren't like, that's why they're called emotions. Even, they're not feelings. They're the brain. You're going in the brain. They don't even zoom in on the heart space. They zoom in on the mind the whole time. Those are your thoughts. They're controlling the emotions to control the output. Those are showing you how the feelings are funded. It's showing you the idea, the father getting mad at the kitchen. I like, I seen that from like the trailers and stuff, right? That whole scene of there where the father's like, red dude is often gets mad and flips that trigger, is because of the idea of the daughter doing something, and then immediately he goes, I don't like the way she did that, and then flicks that lever. That's what it's showing you. It literally told you the inner outer workings of how we move. But it's a kids movie. And a lot of people don't get it that deep, because, oh, it's a kids movie, it can't be that deep. No, it is. Because kids need to know that shit so they can grow up and live the destiny that they desire, because the kids are the future. Yep. Anything that happens outside is happening internally first, truly. The only reason why you would say someone else is being bad is because you're already being bad internally. Maybe you should leave that individual so you wouldn't have to project that feeling onto them. You know what I mean? Because now you're in the same boat as them. You're not elevating, you're just stooping down to their level, playing at their energy. You're not doing anything. It's a whole thing. We really have to internalize the process of these things. This is the whole point. And a lot of people, it's difficult. Let me tell you, it really is. If you don't like, this is something that I've practiced for a while. Like, I've gone to therapy my whole life basically, and it never helped me. So I started like trying to, learn about it myself. Like, why am I doing this? Why is this here? Why is that there? Exactly. Everything is a huge synchronicity. And a lot of people, they use magic. They try to use magic to get them out of situations. But a lot of times in these physical situations that we're in, it needs a physical action. And we need to understand as well, nothing on the physical can stop the spiritual. So it doesn't matter if you know that you're going to be the best dancer in the world, or like I'll use myself for an example. The fact that I'm not getting accepted for jobs as like a tarot reader in like shops and shit, that doesn't stop me on my path, because now I'm already at a different part of my path where I'm doing something way grander than I would have done over there, right? But that's just because I stayed to my path. Same thing if you're going to be a huge dancer, but no one like allows you to sign up for auditions, and then one day you just end up dancing like in the street one day, and someone sees you like, holy shit, I run this talent agency, you really good dancer, yada yada, all these things, whatever. However, the destiny point needs to be made. It will always be made. You just have to stay on that track. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be upsetting. It's going to get you pissed off, but you have to walk it. And even then, when you're right there at the door, there are things that have to happen before you open that door. There's a key inside of you. There's two keys inside of you. That's the key. There's two keys. Two heads are better than one, right? You got one head here, one head here. One head focusing on the physical, one head focusing on the spiritual. That's how we are. We're walking in the middle of both those realms. One foot in, one foot out. Always. And when we get that second key from that heart space, from the feminine, that scepter, the world card. Let me pull it out real quick. Let me get the world card out. Let me get the world card and the Hierophant, actually. Because the Hierophant is going to show you the two keys, and I can break that down for you. And then I can also get the world card to show you the two scepters, or again, like another example of the two keys that you have. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I love having this knowledge. I just really fucking love. I just want to continuously share this shit. Like, I just don't want to never. I just don't want to stop ever sharing the beauty of this shit. Because when my eyes were listen, dude, when my eyes were open to this, my whole body like flipped. Like I could not resist learning about it. It was just the truth of it swept me away. But anyway, with the Hierophant, the two keys are there. The two keys are in you. You are yeah, I'm pointing the right way. You are together. This is a sign of togetherness. This is the original peace sign. This is why every pope does this. It's togetherness, right? The keys are crossed. Those two keys are you. They're crossed. They're also representing an X, the rune Gebo of relationships. You need to be in a relationship with yourself to receive the scepter from Mother, the scepter that she's handing out from her right hand. Let me find the chariot. Let me find the chariot and the magician, and I'll get this whole story put for you. Truly. And it don't take that many cards to show you the truth of tarot, dude. This shit's crazy. But anyway, I need to get the magician first before I get the chariot, because that's the order it would go in. You can't have the control over the sphinxes, over the two of you, without at least another scepter. But anyway, once you get in a relationship with yourself and you get in Gebo, Mother hands you the scepter, the same one that you hold in your hand with the magician. You're now bringing things from heaven to earth, and now you're able to control and move forward with victory without constrictions. There's no reins, there's no ropes around the sphinxes. They're able to fly on their own. This is supreme divine power. They're unified. You can see so there. They're unified. They're healthy. They're connected. You're sitting on top inside of your masonry with the scepter. On your go, you're going to fly away and move. Nothing will stop you because you're fully connected in self. And that's the journey of life. It's following that heart space. Two of Cups. Look up the Two of Cups. Well, actually, let me just pull it out, because the Two of Cups is the only card you need to know in tarot. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The Two of Cups, because I was told it. I researched it. We walked through it. He told me about it. We did the whole thing. I even studied it after. I see it. The most important card in the tarot deck, the only one you need to care about, because it tells you everything. It tells you everything. Hold on, I've been talking for too long. I ain't got no water. Anyway, the only card you know is the Two of Cups. It shows you everything you need. It shows you how to do it. It shows you how to connect to yourself, the end goal, and everything. All you need to do is get your rational mind, the masculine, the one who's looking like a fool, to walk to the divine feminine, to the inner heart, to create a connectivity with the beast and have the rational mind, the beast mind, fly above the ordinary. It's winged. It has a higher sight. It's not bound by earth. You just got to connect to yourself. You have to get that masculine and go connect to the feminine. You have to go to the heart space. You have to want that connection. You, not this rational mind, because the rational mind doesn't know about the heart space. It doesn't care about it. In fact, it will create feelings of the heart being hurt just to show you that, oh, well, the heart's hurting itself. No, you're hurting your own heart, because there's a part of you that knows that the feeling comes from the heart space. So if it can trick you to think that the heart's bad, you're not going to want to do anything with it. That's why people say don't listen to your heart. It betrays you. Your thoughts betray you more than your heart would ever. Your heart operates off of love. Your rational mind, your brain, works off of objectivity and defining things. And that will betray you a lot more than working out of love. But that's the grand scheme of things in this life. These are the, I don't know. It's life. Some people find it very valuable. One man's gold, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? So this is my treasure, at least, that I offer to people. And I see it is accepted. So I am glad to see the ones that do accept it. I just, exactly, yeah. I don't know too much about Kali and Shiva, but I have a Buddhist friend that I've talked a lot to, excuse me, not a lot about, but a lot to, just to compare our own ways of being. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because we talked a lot about stuff like that. because he's he's full on Buddhist. I got the Egyptian Kemetic lifestyle, so we got together and just started talking. And we had a fun time explaining like the different aspects and stuff. So it was fun. I need to message him again at some point. We haven't talked in a while, and I kind of want to like catch up with him. But yeah, it's a whole thing. But it's life, man. This is just the pathway that I just like talk about it. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. The only like I guess like issue or mishap that could happen is like idolization. You know what I mean? But other than that, like metaphors and mythology, it helps you grasp it. Whatever helps you grasp it is good. That's the whole point of like people saying don't like walk your path. Doesn't matter if it's religion, doesn't matter if it's spirituality, doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Walk it. If you get your purpose, that's all that matters. I don't care what walk of life you have. I might not know anything about it, but like teach me about it because I'll probably be able to relate to it and get it in some form or fashion, right? Is we all have different ways of getting it. I've learned things from like other paths of life that I haven't even thought of on this one before, and it's helpful. That's what we're here to do. And still, some people like on the path that I'm walking know things that that I don't know that help me, and I tell them things that they don't know that help them. It's just what it is. We understand things at different levels. It's beautiful. This is the communication. This is the type of life that was supposed to be created on Earth. Like this was the whole thing, is to get us to cooperate like this. Different parts of life, being able to talk, communicate, exchange ideas, and relate things. Not bashing anyone, just allowing us to have our own ways. But that's really apparently hard to do for some people, which I get completely because the physical reality is a rough one, and they don't make it easy with all the fucking chemicals and shit they got going around. They do not make it easy at all. But it definitely is you know, it's very possible. We just have to be willing, and everyone is willing. It's just the fact of like the rational mind. It's not even the ego, because you are the ego. Ego just means I in Latin. You are I. That's me, myself, and I. Me is who my divine self is, the heart. Myself is who I am alone, or like away from people, away from public, and I am the observer. I shoot out. It's not I, it's EYE, because we're three. We are an I, we're an observer. That's what the ego is showing us. We are the observer. The rational mind and the intuitive mind, or the rational mind, the heart space, whichever way you want to say it. It's the intuitive mind if we're going to keep it in the realm of the mind anyway. Or the right brain being the right half being the rational, and the left half being the intuitive, however you want to say it. Those are the two components that we need to bridge together. Well, we're in the bridge between the two, excuse me, and we're basically leaning one way or the other. And that's where the whole thing of like your moral compass comes from, in your scale. How balanced are you? Are you more leaning to the physical, or are you more leaning towards the spiritual, and are you okay with it? Which side are you leaning on, and are you the one in the middle who's causing that change to happen, okay with it? If you are okay with it, good. If you're not okay with it, change it. Simple and done. If it goes against the rules of your life that you've set for yourself and that you agree to, change it. If it doesn't, keep it moving. It's not, it does not have to be any more complicated than that. But a lot of people, it does get that. But regardless, I don't know. But again, like more people need to talk about this stuff, at least in this type of manner, whether it's in video format, whether it's live stream or not. Speaking of that, I need to like. I'll make this the title for this stream. whenever I'll do it right now actually, and then I will oh bird. I don't have to worry about it whenever I end stream. Because I need to start titling my streams. I just reminded myself while talking about that I'm gonna start at least midway through the stream or like whenever I'm about to end, change the title to what the streams are, like what we talk about, so people will better find it and it's not just the same fucking title over and over and over again. I've been meaning to do that all the time, but there's some times where I'm just up here channeling and just talking from the heart space for literally hours, and then I just get off and just I don't remember a damn thing half the time. It's there, it clicks with me, I let it sink in, but sometimes when you channel for way too long, things just begin to slip out the mind and you just can't really grasp onto it. And this is still live, so can I edit you while you're live? Is this like a possibility? I can't. That's so funny. That's actually hilarious. It probably won't show unless people like refresh. So no, that's fine, but it'll show up new for others for sure. But regardless, I'm gonna hang around for about 4 more minutes. I'll get off at like a minute and out, 160 minutes, and then we'll be back later, and we'll talk some more about some stuff, and whatnot. But regardless, like today, again, another just beautiful day of like, just the progressizations that we had, the questions that were asked and everything. I didn't skip a question, did I? I think I did, might have. No, I don't think I did. I think I'm fine. Yeah, definitely. Listen, let me tell you. Sometimes, like, I used to just go to sleep after streams a lot, but I've got to the point now where I'm okay with it. Like, favorite type of ice cream? Damn. Blueberry Belgian waffle. Blueberry Belgian waffle ice cream is one of my favorites. It is just vanilla ice cream with blueberry and like Belgian waffle bits in it. Oh my god, that shit's crazy good. Always, always. And thank you for stopping by. I always love to just, talk like this. It's always fun. So thank you. I really enjoyed the questionings and the back and forth that we had. It was very good. Very, very informative. Always try to help. And I always like try not to say like this is the like whenever I say the truth, I'm not meaning like solidified. I'm just meaning the truth of what I know so far as well. I know a lot of people know that, but some people just don't get the grip. Some people are out of touch like that. But I enjoy having people come in here and ask questions and get me to start thinking, because sometimes I need to start thinking things too. Sometimes I need to research things. There was someone in chat like a few days ago who recommended a book for me to get, and I read that. I was reading through that, and that's how I found out about the whole like Kabbalist and the Scottish Rite and the Masonry whole thing with the tarot direction and thing. I found that out reading that book. So like I always keep an open mind. If something's suggested to me, I usually look into it. There's only very subtle times where I don't. But I always do my best. Because what good of a teacher is if they're not learning? Like, let's just keep it real. What good of a teacher is a teacher if they're not learning? Like, you can't just be a teacher forever, dude. You gotta learn. Teachers in my high school are also taking college classes. Like, I don't want to. Like, I don't care. Dude, I had first-hand experience with that shit, man. I had second-hand and first-hand experience, dude. I know how it is. You have to keep learning. Shit's always moving, dude. It's how it be. But regardless, thank you all so much for being here. It's always fun. I appreciate love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of you all back. I love each and every one of you, to the moon and back, tenfold and forever. And I'll see you later.